Hola mis serenitas, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Chiquita Serenita, and today we're doing a review and a tutorial on Tarte's Busy Gal Goes Eye and Cheek palette. Now this barely came up on Ulta, what about like a month ago? I bought it maybe 2 days after it had been launched on the Ulta website. And then my idea... my goal, I want to say, was to do a review on it. But when I opened up the palette and I was like, this looks nothing like how they had it on the Ulta website. On the Ulta website, all the browns looked super dark. The pinks, like the purple tones in here, or you want to call them burgundy tones, however you want to call them, they looked super dark. So these looked a lot darker online. So did these ones. This looked more pink. That definitely looked more pink. I was okay with these two. I thought that pink looked a lot darker. This is the blush right here. That looked definitely darker. And then this highlighter, which I was fine with. I thought it was a cute palette. It's like an all-in-one palette, right? You got your blush, you got your highlighter, and then you got your neutral look. I just thought these neutrals were a lot darker on the warmer side, and they weren't. So when I opened it, I was like, I was not impressed. This is not a bad palette. I'm okay with it. This one I wanted to return it, but the way things are right now, where you can't go into Ulta to return it for free, versus me having to pack it up and ship it back to them to get my refund, which is me paying out of pocket to ship it back to them, only to get the money that I'm getting back. So that's basically like paying $20 for this, shipping $5 to only get $15 back. It's like, what was the point of it? You know, that's how I look at it. So I'm like, no, I'm just going to keep you, and I'll make a video, and then I'll give it to one of my sisters or something, because they like neutrals and they could probably use a palette. They're lighter than me. So all three of my sisters are lighter than me. I am the darkest tan person in the family besides my brother. So they're lighter than me, and that's why they can wear neutrals way better than me. So let me start swatching for you guys. I'm going to start with Self-Made right here. This is the first color. I did use Self-Made today. It is a shimmer. It is more like champagne-y gold. It is definitely a pretty color right there. The reflect and the gold that you see in it, it's very champagne. I actually like that color. I used it right here. Next we have Role Model, and Role Model is a brown tone. That is the, I didn't get to use that one today, but look how pretty that one is. It's like a chocolate brown, right? Next to that we have Go Getter. Go Getter I used for my transition shade. Now I'm noticing like Go Getter is a lot lighter than the other one. Look. I used Go Getter because in the palette it looks dark. It looks super dark. Like it looks the darkest brown. That's the one I used for my transition shade up here. Now that I'm seeing it swatched on my arm, I'm like, why didn't I use that other one? That one was Role Model. The Role Model looks darker. Let me swatch that. Go Getter again. See if you can build it up. Yeah, it can be built up, but look, you still... This one is obviously more darker than that one. In the next row, we have Got This. Got This is my inner corner highlight that I used. Very pretty. Look how blinding that is. This would have made a better highlight than the highlighter than they have in here. Because honestly, when I put on this highlight, and I'm going to show you guys in a second after I'm done swatching all the eyeshadows, that thing didn't do anything for me, you guys. It didn't do anything. So the next color we have is Overtime. Overtime is like a duochrome. It's very hard to explain. It's like a gunmetal color to me. Honestly, you can't even see it. Look. I mean, you can see it right now, but earlier when I swatched it right now, like you can't even see it on my skin, but you can. I can see it in the viewfinder, so I know that you guys can see it. So it's very pretty. It's like a duochrome. It's between a khaki brown, and it has this like reflective green, like an olivey green color. And then we have Hustle, which is a matte black with glitter. And I used the black too today just to darken up the edges and the bottom of my eye. I mean, you always need a good black, I guess. Especially in a neutral palette, a black is essential. But to have that black be the only color that lived up to its photo in Ulta, it's sad. In the next row, we have On the Mauve, which is Move, On the Move. Pretty sure they meant mauve because it is like a mauve color. Oh, you can't even see it. Oh my god. I'm hoping you guys can see it. It's like right there. Maybe I'm just too dark for this. But look, oh my god, you can't even see it on my hand. It is a super blush. I want to say a blush pink, but at the same time, it's lighter than a blush pink. This is like between a peach and a pink, but on the very light side. So definitely on me, it would not work. I mean, I can barely see it right here. And let me see if I can try to build that up, because I'm telling you guys, this is super light. I'm thinking, see how you guys can see it now a little bit now that I built it up. So it's like a mauve pink around there. I think on someone lighter than me, this would be a perfect transition shade, or the shade that you can use to just set your primer. That is a perfect shade. Doesn't work for me, and it probably won't work for someone darker than me, because I definitely, if you can barely see it on my skin tone, I don't think, no, it'll probably be too opaque. I don't think I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, you try it, girlfriend. I don't care, but I probably wouldn't recommend. So the next color we have is Grammet, and Grammet and this next color look so similar. I'm wondering if actually they are different. So this is Grammet right here, and this is TGIF, which is these are the last two colors in this palette, and they do look very similar, except Grammet is a lighter shade of pink. This is a shimmer, and then we have TGIF is another shimmer. So one is clearly, I'm hoping you guys can see it, but this one is actually lighter than that one. So it's about like a shade, 2 shades of a difference. Plus this one is a glitter, not like a glitter. I want to say it's a shimmer with glitter. And this one is just a straight up metallic shimmer. So it has no glitter in it. So I'm hoping you guys can see that. There is a shade difference. See, one is darker than the other, but pretty much, if a person was seeing this like for the first time, they would automatically say, you put the 2 same shades in the same freaking palette. They would say that straight up, because honestly, when you're looking at it, they're only a shade difference and they look exactly the same. So I honestly thought they looked almost exactly the same until I swatched it right now, and I figured, okay, yeah, it is different. It's not the same. So I'm going to swatch the blush for you guys on my other arm, just so you guys can see, you know, the tone of it. It is called Brunching. I want to say Brunching, but it's like Brunchin. That's what they wrote, Brunchin, without the G at the end. So this Brunchin, rosy tone, like you can barely tell. See how you guys, you know what this reminds me of? You know that color from the ColourPop's Making Mauves collection? The one that's called Coast to Coast? And even then, it reminds me more on the rosy tonish of the Mulan palette. The Mulan blushes. You know that lightest one? Not the Good Luck Charm. The other one. The one you can barely tell that you have on your cheek. It sort of reminds me of that. Like just... oh, I just like a perfect subtle shade of color, and it's not too much on the cheek. I think this is perfect for someone who doesn't want a whole lot of color. Like, I'm rubbing it on my hand just to give you guys an idea more of what the color is. It's like a very light mauve pink. And you can't see it a lot, honestly, on my skin tone. You could barely even see that it's there. And when I put it on my cheeks, I was like building it up just to get some form of color in it, because I was like, girl, this is not doing it for me. I was like this, trying to rub it in there, trying to make it. And I was like, oh, this is very like Kim Kardashian-y for some reason. Because she always seems to have this makeup that's there, but it's not there. So it's like barely enough, but not too much, you know? I have never seen that girl in like super out there makeup. Like, I want to see that girl one day in some electric blue or something like that. And I've never seen them like that. I've always seen them in just neutral makeup. Every time I see Kim Kardashian, she has neutral makeup on. She looks like just there with the dark black and just smoky eyes, but never have I ever seen them with like yellow, super pinks, some electric blues, some foresty green. I never see them like that, you guys. I don't. So that's why I say this is like a perfect Kim Kardashian palette, because it's like, it's there, but it's not there. So the last color in here is this Dest to Date Night highlighting shade, and I was not impressed with this, you guys, at all. I figured, like, this, what is this even doing? This models will be used for some type of eyeshadow, because as a highlighter, it sucks. It's not good. I like shimmer highlighter, but I like you to see my highlighter. Like, I'm not saying I want a blinding highlight, because I'm not Jeffree Star skin frost type of person, but I like to go like this and then have you see it. And I can't see anything. I can't even see it. So this is, it's crap. It's not good. Now let me use that one that's in here that's called Got This. This one right here. That's the one that I used as my inner corner highlight right here. And I was like, this one makes a better highlight than that one that I initially used. Look at that. See, you can see it now. Like, look. And you just rub that little baby in. And it's like, I can see it now. That one makes a better highlighter than the other one. And I was like, dude, this doesn't do anything. I rubbed it on my nose. I rubbed it everywhere. That thing didn't do anything to me. And now you can see that one. That one's a cute one. The Got This, that's a perfect highlighter. I think it's like, what is it? Versatile. You can use it as an eyeshadow, a highlighter, and an all-over highlight. That's it, you guys. I'm done. I'm done with this thing, palette. So if you guys want to see how I create this look today, just stay tuned. Okay, you guys, for my first color, I am going to use this brown right here that's called Go Getter. Pretty much the darkest brown that you're going to see in this palette. This palette is very, like, just very, it's very light. It's on the lighter side than I would have liked it. So when I first bought this palette, I saw it on Ulta and I was immediately interested in it because online they looked like super dark. I like those two pinks in there, and then the other ones, it looked like neutrals, but they look like dark neutrals. So I was like, oh, this looks nice, right? And then when I got it in person and then I opened it up, I was like, oh, they all look like, all of them. And for someone who doesn't really like a whole lot of color, this is actually really perfect for them. But I personally, if I go for browns, I like dark browns. If I go for like the berries, I was expecting more out of this palette. And it's just not dark enough. This brown that I'm using for my transition shade is the darkest brown out of this whole palette besides that black. And everything else is lighter than this. So that's why I was like, oh God, what am I supposed to do with this? And I couldn't return it because you have to pay for returns. So I'm not going to waste my money returning the package to Ulta just to get refunded when I could have just went in person. But since coronavirus shut all the businesses down pretty much, I can't go into Ulta and exchange it, you know, or get my refund for nothing. Basically, I could just go in person and get refunded instead of having to pay postage and get it returned. I don't know, I just think like if I spent the money to buy it and then I have to spend a good $12, $13 just to send it back, and then it just makes no sense to me. I'm just going to get refunded maybe half, less than half of what I spent for the palette. That's why I was like, oh, forget this. It's not worth it. I just said I'm going to just keep it, and then I'll probably give it away eventually, you know, because I know I have sisters and stuff that like neutrals. That's all they use is neutrals, not like me. I use a lot of color too in between. For my next color, I went in with this color called Self-Made, which is this one right here on top. You can't really tell, but it is like it's like a champagne shimmer, and I used my finger for that. It's like more on the gold tone, so it's like a champagne gold, and I just used my finger. I went halfway because I used another shimmer So I went like halfway. I tried to put it a little bit above my crease because I am hooded eyes. So, but you guys, this palette did not wow me. You know what I got from this palette, honestly? I got a lot of like subtle tones, Kim Kardashian vibes for some reason, because her line of makeup is so like blah to me. And honestly, in another perspective from another person would probably be like, well, that's not blah. That is just like a very toned down people who like just a little bit of color. Like a little bit, like they like to look minimal. Perfect. That's a perfect example. This is like a minimalist palette. So you have minimal color and it's just like, oh, look how natural this look looks. I mean, you can't even count the lipstick, right? The lipstick is mine. But if you were just going by this look, you would be like, oh, she just looks simple. It's just simple. That's all it is. And I don't go for simple, you guys. I mean, it's not a bad palette, but I'm like saying, when I first opened this thing, I was like, not impressed, not wowed at all. I was waiting just to return it. And then once I found out what the situation was with the returns, I was like, well, great. I'm stuck with this now. That's why I decided just to make a video on it, because if there's someone out there that wants this palette and you are not like, and you like color and stuff like that, and you got, maybe you were confused by the pictures online because they don't look the same as the ones in person. So when I saw this online, I was like, oh, this is nice. And then I get it in person, I'm like, this is super light. So the next color I used in here, it's called Overtime. Overtime, I want to say it's like a duochrome. It's like really hard to explain what it is. It is like a green almost, but like a brown metal, like a metal. It's like a gunmetal color. And this is the color that I used on the other half of my lid. And I just like rubbed it in there in the corner right here. And I worked it inside towards the middle. And you can't really tell. It's not like a whole lot of color in it. So it sort of just creates this dark khaki color in there in my outer crease area right here. So it's not, it's a pretty color. Honestly, out of all the entire palette, this is the one that I just actually liked. But that's like one color out of all the colors in the palette. Like, come on. I wasn't impressed with the rest. They looked 1,000 times more darker in the photos on Ulta than they do in person. So then I went in with that transition shade Go Getter again. For my bottom, I put this color in here called Hustle. And it is a black, you guys. So it's this black right here. It's like a black, but it's almost like a dark gray. You guys, I'm sorry for the whole light changing. Is that when I put the palette next to the camera, it just like sort of throws off because it's a mirror. That's why I like the palettes that don't have a mirror. It doesn't do that with the lights. But when the palette has a mirror, it does that. So it's like do it like this because it's a reflective. Like the whole thing is reflective, right? It's got this gold. I can actually see my face in the bottom of these palettes in between the actual pans. And then this is also reflective too. You can totally use this as a mirror. I can see my entire face as this palette. So I used Hustle all on the bottom of my eyelid right here. And I did tap some of it in the corner right here. And then I worked it away across. And I went in with that first color again. I did add some of that self-made one again back, just to add it back in there in the corner right here. Because it is a super light color and it easily gets covered by the darker ones. Then I popped some more of that Overtime right here and I just like added it. For my inner corner highlight, I used this color right here that says Got This. And it is a super light color. It's definitely lighter than Self-Made. Self-Made is more like a champagne. I'm sorry, you guys. This freaking mirror is getting on my nerves. So Self-Made is like this champagne, and this one's more like a pinky champagne color. Okay, so that's the color that I used, the Got This, and that is like a pinky champagne. I just tapped it right here. And it's not like a whole lot of color. It's just enough. That was like pretty much the only highlight that I think would work for this look because there's not a lot of options in here. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I am going to do my eyeliner and my mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, this is the finished eye look today. It is very simple and it's like very minimal. That's what I'm saying. This palette is very perfect for someone who doesn't like a whole lot of color. This is perfect for neutral. People who are minimalist, like just barely their makeup. This is perfect for you. I personally like a little bit more of everything in my look. So yeah, let me back you guys out and give you guys my final thoughts. Okay, you guys, I'm back. So overall, you guys, this is not a bad palette. I'm just saying for my taste, I like a little bit more color. Definitely, if you guys love neutrals and you guys love Tarte's formula, I love Tarte smell, honestly. For some reason, Too Faced always smells like chocolate to me, and this one always smells like vanilla. So I like their formulas, and their smell of their products are really good. It's just that when I first saw this, I thought it was so much more color in this palette than what I initially saw. So everything like this is so reflective. That's why you guys are going to have a problem with the whole lights right now. They're going to go dark in a second when I back up. But yeah, it's because the whole palette is reflective, really gold. This is the, even they have, look at, all this is reflective. The back is completely, you could see, like, look at the camera right there. You can see everything off of this palette. But, and then, I like their mirror. Their palettes always feel heavy, like very luxurious, you know, expensive. That's one thing I love about Tarte too. It's just that when I first saw it online, it just looked more darker toned, more warm toned. And then when I got it in person, I was like, well, this is definitely more like browns, but on the cooler end. Because this is like a champagne. This is like a light brown. This is a darker brown. That's like the darkest color in the palette right there besides that black, which is not really a black. It's like a matte with glitter, but it's like a soft matte with glitter. And then this is more of a champagne-y pink. This one, I have no idea how to describe that. That is like a khaki shimmer dual chrome in a way. So it has like this green, brown, khaki feel to it when you wash it. On the mauve, which is like a mauve. It's like a mauve pink. Very pretty. This is the reason why I bought this palette, was these and this. And I like the idea that it came with its own blush and then highlighter. So Grammet is a shimmer. That's another shimmer too, but one has more glitter than the other. And I think this one's a slight bit darker than that one. But overall, the blush is really nice. I have it on right now. It's like subtle blush. So that's why I'm saying this palette is perfect for someone who wants to put on makeup, but they don't want to look like they just, like an 80s drag queen like me, you know. That's what I want to look like. I want to look like somebody slapped me with the brightest pink blush on my cheeks. But yeah, you guys can see it, but it's not like a whole big difference. And I was not impressed with this highlighter, you guys. So, and I will probably explain that in the beginning. So, other than that, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified each and every time I upload a new video. And until next time, stay warm, stay blessed, and stay magical. Bye, you guys.